Hello everyone, my name is Amrin. Today's module name is Academic Skills and Studying with Confidence. Module code is BMM 3113. So what we are going to learn today is learning outcome of this session is note-taking skills and their importance. What we are going to cover today in learning outcomes, what is note taking, why it is important, available techniques, and how to listen well for effective note taking. The question we need to focus on here are what, why, and how it is important. Okay. So first, as we see here, it's note taking. So what do you understand by note taking? When it comes to note taking, so by the name, it is clear. Note means whatever you're listening or you heard, whatever you know, and taking means write it down somewhere. So when it comes to the academics, as per popular brief, it is a systematic approach to processing the information presented to you by scanning the main point for future reference. So whenever you hear something, you write it down for your future reference in some bullet points or in some important words or line or in sentences. It's called note taking. However, according to the University of Leeds Library sources, note making is not just about writing down everything you hear or read. It is a process of reviving, connecting, and synthesizing ideas from your lecturer or reading. Whatever you hear from your lecturer, whatever you know by your reading, you just review it, connect it, and synthesize it, synthesize your idea and write it down. That is called note taking. And have you ever think why it is important? So for to that, there's one activity where you need to discuss why note taking is important. Just a 5 minute activity we would do it in the class when we cover this week. By the way, this is week 2. Okay. So why it is important, why note taking is important. Without note taking as well you can survive obviously, but when it comes to the note taking, when it comes to the academics, when it comes to the study, it is important. And why it is important, here it is. When you take notes, it helps to ensure you are actively listening to what the teacher is saying. Obviously, if you are writing, if you are hearing something and writing down at the same time, that means you are very active at that point of time. Your ears and your mind and your eyes and your hand, everything is working at the same time. So you are actively listening whatever you are writing. Prevent lack of focus. So basically, once if you start listening and writing, you can concentrate. That means you are concentrating. It would prevent the lack of focus. You won't see here and there. If you are writing, if you are making notes, you would definitely listen to your teacher or the or what from wherever you are listening. It will help you reduce your study time. Obviously, once you are done with your notes, if you have created a notes, and when you start reading again after some time, it would reduce your study time. You can just go through the important points through your notes, whatever you have made. It will help you to, summarize your studies. Next point, notes are useful when preparing for assessment. When you have made a proper notes and when you are preparing for any kind of assessment in the future, you just need to go through with those points because those points were important points. Those points are the points which you have understood. So just go through with those points and you will be done to prepare for your assessment. Next would be it can boost your knowledge skill of the topic. It can boost your knowledge in the sense once you listen your professor, your teacher, and when you write it down, so your two senses are working together. Your mind is grasping all those things and you're seeing your words by your eyes, you're writing it down. So what you are doing, you're listening and writing. You two skills you are using, your two senses you are using. So this will boost your knowledge, and whatever you write, whatever you listen would be there in your mind for long. There's one small video to watch in the class. Whenever we'll study in the class, I'll show you the video. And how do you take notes? When it says it is very important. So how to take the notes? So as per Varsity Tutor, some available techniques are first the outline format. The outline format is highly organized. The main topic acts as header. So whatever is your main topic, as per your subject, as per your lecture, you need to write it down on top like header and with accompanying detail listed under them. Next, use Roman numerals and alphanumeral combination or bullets to mark or to give points to your writing, to your notes. It is always better to write them in points, so it will be easy for you to understand and to read and to clarify what you are reading and what you are writing. It is supposed to be linear or flowchart. It could be in linear or in flowchart as well. Okay, it's up to you how you want to make it, how you want to create it, because these will be your notes, this will be your understanding, this will be for your study. Okay, so it is up to you if you want to make it as a linear or in flowchart. Next, concept mapping or web. Concept mapping in web demonstrates how diverse ideas are connected. That means if you have got one idea and out of that idea you're getting some different ideas as well. So from one point you can write 3 points, and again out of those 3 points you can write down many examples and many points. That is called concept mapping. And map, as you can see here on the chart, on this diagram, is called the concept mapping. Main points are placed in the center. Whatever is your main point will be in the center, and associated ideas branches as appropriate. Arrows describe the relationship. So through the arrow, you can show where is your next idea, which is related to the main idea, which you will be mentioning in the center. Always make sure that the relationship and the order of the ideas is correct. Now, what are the advantage? Useful or for visual learner who struggle with studying from notes. There are some kind of students who are not very much interested reading notes. So this is the good idea of taking note, good method of taking notes, because this is kind of image. So those who are visual learner, visual learner, they see, they watch, and they learn. They don't prefer reading throughout the notes. So this idea, this method of note taking would be very helpful for them. Help you remember the connection and relationship between topics and subtopics. When you have written the main topic at the center and the subheadings or subtopics with the help of arrow, it will help you to keep that concept in your mind for longer, because this is in the form of map or the web. Again, there's one video we can see to understand the concept. There's one activity, try note taking from this video using mapping method. So I'll play this video. You all have to be ready with your pen and paper. You can use any method you want and try to make a note, and then we'll discuss in the class. Next, and the last one, we have Cornell method. This is the another third method to take notes. It is useful for both during the class as well as for after lecture study. You have to divide the paper into 4 sections. Small top section for the topic, name, and date. On the top, you'll have to write down the topic, whatever topic you are studying in the class, your name and the date. Date would help you to check by the dates which lecture you have attended and made a note. Middle section is the biggest, where you explain the main points. Main notes will be here in the center. One side is used for heading, referring to the main points, and other for summary. Summary allow you to state your own understanding of the lecture, which could be run by the lecture. So that would be your summary. Summary should be in your own words. Whatever you have learned, whatever you have understood by the lecture, you can write it down there. And then there's one activity, which method would you prefer and why? So we have learned 3 methods. So whichever method you like, you feel comfortable, you can write it down, because at the end, you are listening the lecture, you are attending the lecture, you are making notes for yourself, you are making notes for your future reference. So it should be as per your comfort. It's up to you, whatever method you would like to apply to make notes. We have 2 videos about Cornell note-taking method. So you can see these videos to understand the Cornell method. Can you take notes without listening? Okay, this is the question. A very interesting question. If I ask you, can you take notes without listening? No, obviously, if you're not listening anything, how would you make notes? To make notes, you have to listen to something. So how can you listen better? See, there are some basic questions. How can you listen better? Pay attention to the lecturer, not the lecturer only, okay? Respond to the change and development in the lecture and lecturer by taking mental notes. Try to listen instead of pretending to listen. Don't pretend that you're listening. If you are making notes, if you are serious about your study, you have to listen carefully. And once you're listening carefully, you have to make notes for your future reference. It would be easy for you to revise the lecture. You don't have to go through for 3 hours, 4 hours lecture. If you have made a note, you can just go through the note, check the date, what date you have attended the lecture, check the date, just go through your notes and you're sorted. Feel free to visualize the method with yourself. Again, as I said, it is up to you. Whatever method you want to use, you can use. You are free to use. There is no compulsion to use the particular method. It's up to you. Whichever method you feel is easy for you, you can use it as per your subject, as per your topic, and as per your liking. Next, another we have, there's one video. Listen to this and take notes. And here is the test, I would say. Whatever you have done, if you have listened my lecture carefully, and if you have made notes, how to take notes by all those three methods, if you understood any of those methods, you can use it here. I'll just play this video. You'll have to listen and take notes, okay? This way you can practice as well how to take notes, and you can learn new methods as well, because I think the corner method is the new method for you. So you can try that as well. So there's next thing, write down what you learned today and the necessity of the note taking, different method of note taking. So we can discuss in the class. This is the activity. So we'll do it in the class, and I hope you understood everything about this class. And if not, we'll discuss, and you can ask the question. And if you have made note, you don't need to ask anything. You can just go through your notes and just complete your task. Thank you so much for your time.